heart goes out to him, and obviously a speedy recovery. But when he comes back next year, he'll be ready to go.
Tyler Shatley taking his place, is that, having a veteran like him on the team, is that what, kind of helps out you guys in that area?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have veteran, backups, swing guys that go a couple multiple spots is beneficial. Shatley's one of those guys, whether it's guard or center. It's just valuable to have. And, you got him, you got Walker sitting there. Cole Van Lannon can obviously play guard and tackle, so we got options.
With John Miller being added, is that more depth, or is that kind of what was the thought process?
Well, I mean, when you lose a player like Ben, obviously you get that spot, right? And so, we did our due diligence the last couple of days and brought a few guys in to work out and really feel comfortable with him. And now we just got to get him caught up to speed, and he'll be in that rotation for potentially that seventh, eighth spot in the lineup.
Expectation that Shatley will start this
Yes.
season? Yep.
Yes.
Playing the Colts again after playing them in week 2. You had that quick of a turnaround of playing a team twice in your coaching career?
Oh yeah. NFC East. Last 4 games of the year, we played our division, 4 games, and I believe it was the Giants twice. So yeah, it's a quick turnaround, but we're excited for the opportunity. Going to their place should be a great environment, a great fan base there. Looking forward to it. We know, it's obviously it's going to be a different game, and just going to take a good week of preparation, and guys are excited for that.
Does it make prep easier when you got that one on tape just recently, or is it tough? Challenging?
Yeah, it's never easy. Preparation's never easy. That's the one thing about knowing your opponent. They know you, and we know them, and you're not going to fool anybody or trick anybody, and it just comes down to your hard work and preparation. And listen, this is a well-coached team. It's a good football team. It's a disciplined football team. You see it on film, and I expect a much different ball game than the first time.
With obviously going up against the cover 2 of the Texans this past weekend, knowing it's more of the cover 3 that Gus Bradley runs, but
You study your tape.
I do try.
That's good.
I hang out with Coach Campo enough, so that
There you
helps.
go.
Knowing that they're 2 different defenses, but you saw week 2, Trevor really kind of took what the defense gave him, not so much this past weekend. What's the conversation with him going into this match?
Well, that's just the conversation. That is the conversation, and the thing is, when you play defenses like this, like last week, Houston, now this week, the Lovie Smiths, the Gus Bradleys of the world, those coordinators, their defenses, they don't do a lot, but what they do it well, and they're very disciplined. And so from an offensive mindset, we have to stay disciplined, and we have to be patient. And even as play callers, myself, we have to, be patient with that sometimes. And, they keep everything in front of you. They don't want to give up the big play, So it's just that's the mentality, and that's the mindset as you play teams like this.
Did you feel like maybe he pressed a little bit too much because he was trying to go for the kill shot as opposed to just playing within what they gave?
It can happen, and again, that's why these defenses play this style. They want to frustrate the offense. They want you to make the mistake, and it's like playing New England. They're going to give you the same thing over and over, and they expect you, the opponent, to make the mistake, and that's when you lose the football game. So, games are lost, more than they are won, and we've got to have a good week this week and get ready to play.
You've been consistent in saying that Trevor's going to be good. He's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. How tough is it as a coach to wait for that light to go on and sort of stay on? Doesn't mean that he can't have a bad game here or there, but where you're waiting for that consistency to kick in.
There's got to be patience, with that. Can't wait too long, But at the same time, it's our job as coaches to make sure that he's improving every week and pointing out the good and the bad, and that's just how you grow. That's just how you learn. And I remember back, my days in Green Bay, under Mike Holmgren, Andy Reid, coaches like that. I mean, learning just that system, and it was very vanilla basic compared to what we're teaching today. We always said 3 years. We always said that's the benchmark. But I don't think you have 3 years. I think you've got to get your players ready to go now. But there has to be subtle improvement, right? There has to be, and you can't just put it all on one player. We know that, and it takes all 3 phases to win games.
Most of the great ones, year 2 is usually a year that's usually pretty good. There's a substantial uptake.
You see growth
from year
Yeah.
1. But this is year 1 for Trevor in your system. How much does that impact it a little bit?
I think it impacts it some, but again, you look around the league at some of the places where, there has been turnover this year, and some of those teams are having success, but you got to look at the whole picture, right? And what we're trying to do, what we're trying to get accomplished, and we have a young quarterback that is learning and growing. I do strongly feel that he's going to be good in this league, and it's going to be sustainable, and that's why I'm here. That's why Press is here, Mike is here, so that we can get him heading in that direction.
Doug, I don't want to put you in a position of criticizing your previous coaching staff or anything, but in coming here and starting to work with Trevor for the first time, were there things that you went over with him that maybe he should have known after 1 year in this league, and maybe he didn't because last year was kind of a lost year for him? Like I said, I'm not trying to make excuses, but in a sense, is this his rookie year in some ways?
It's really hard for me to go back and get into the minds of the coaches that were here, and got a lot of respect for them and what they do, but I just know that Trevor's young, he's learning this game, and one thing I appreciate about Trevor is his work ethic and how hard he wants to improve and get better and help this team win, and I also want him to understand that he doesn't have to do it himself, and that there's 10 other guys out there, plus obviously the coaches to put him in position to be successful. And so it's the fact that, and I keep going back to this, I mean, new coaching staff and coordinator last year, then you come out of college a couple years ago, again this year. When you have that kind of turnover, you're learning a new language every single year. There's hard to get consistency, and that's what we're trying to get to with the whole offense, and really with the whole team, is just building that consistency week in and week out, showing that as we say, 1% improvement every day, every week, and building off of that, and finding the positive in everything, and going from there.
Doug, it seems like the officiating now in wake of Tua has now taken, they were really going to protect quarterbacks. We've seen this the last couple of Tom Brady, and then, I don't know, whatever the one Monday night was. Do you have a talk with your team about reminding them that, hey, this is now the way they're going to enforce this stuff?
No, I don't have that conversation. I just want our guys to play hard. Obviously play within the rules, but play hard, play fast. It's a physical football game, and it's just things are going to happen. Calls are going to happen that we may agree or not agree with, but I just don't go there. I just don't want to put that in our players' minds or in their heads, and you still want them to play fast.
How would you evaluate the pass rush this past weekend?
It can improve. It can get a little bit better. We pride ourselves on getting after the quarterback, and there were flashes of it, where we disrupted Davis a little bit. Could have done better there, but the guys take a lot of pride in their work, and that's something that they'll get back here on the practice field this week and fix.
Are you starting to see Travis get more and more comfortable the more live reps he's getting?
He is. He's understanding his role. He's understanding his responsibility within the offense. He understands the offense, and and even where each week, where we're trying to use him, within the framework of a formation or a play, and he's done a nice job with that. He's handled it well, and when he's had an opportunity, he's impressed, and we got to keep him going.
His ability to, rattle off explosive plays, how much can that help the offense when it's maybe, in a lull at times?
I mean, it's a boost. It helped us Sunday, as we moved the football. Early in the game, he got some big runs there, and just like James a couple weeks ago, had a couple nice runs, and but that's all a spark. Sometimes you need, you're just looking for one guy or one side of the ball to make a play, and he has been able to do that for us, and our goal now is to finish those drives in the red zone. That's been kind of the struggle, especially last week, and we got to make sure that we do a better job there.
We asked you about Barge, what about Caleb? Is that season ending or?
Calebon's just going to miss some time. He's just going to miss some time, so he should make a full recovery and be back.
How much of a, you're trying to balance, trying to, be a pass-first offense and trying to get Trevor acclimated to that, but also knowing that maybe Travis is the hot hand or James is the hot hand and you want to run the ball. How much of a balancing act is that for you as a play caller, especially in a game like Sunday?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. You do whatever it takes to win the game, whether it's throwing it or running it. I think we saw in the 2 wins there was a nice balance there, which is typically the case, for most teams. And so you're looking for that again, that one spark, and it might be a, TJ rattling off a 30-yard run, or we get an explosive pass, to Evan down the middle, something like that. So you never know what it's going to be. You still stick to the game plan as much as you can, and what you've practiced during the week. And somewhere, somehow, some way, somebody needs to make a play and, kind of get things going.
Did you think you guys got the ball out fast enough this past weekend compared to the wins over the Colts and the Chargers?
I thought so. I mean, we kept the quarterback, kept Trevor pretty clean all day. Protection was good. Again, it's just a matter now of just we have to evaluate the scheme. Was the scheme, appropriate for what we saw? And that falls back on us. And so as a staff, we can do better and help our guys out better there.
What do you like about Evan Engram so far, 5 weeks into the season? Is that as advertised as you thought coming in?
Yeah, and he's a guy we try to get the football to, obviously. You see his physicality in the run game. He's not a big guy, but he still wants to pride himself on being physical, and he does that. And you saw Sunday how he can stretch the middle of the field, and it's just and even the first game, against the Colts, playing physical, playing tough, breaking some tackles, key third downs, things like that. Just exactly what you want, And again, one football, trying to get everybody some opportunities. Is a bit of a challenge, but he's everything you want, though.
Let's go one more. I know a lot of it depends on the player, but as a general rule, what's the toughest throw for a quarterback?
All of them.
Is that seam throw tougher?
I mean, if you go back and look at that seam throw, and most of those seam balls, those were over the top of second level defenders, and those were as pretty of throws as you're going to see in the NFL. And every throw is different. Throws to your left, throws to your right. The short, flat throws to your left for a right-handed quarterback can be a little difficult at times, because it's all about getting your, transferring your weight and opening your hip and shoulders and getting your eyes and your target line heading in that direction. Then on top of that, you got the rush barreling down on you, and then you got to stand there and make an accurate throw. So that's why I said all the throws are pretty tough.
I get it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.